Namaskar. After posting the previous video about sleep, which generated a lot of interest, it also provoked many comments and requests to go into some detail about insomnia. Now, if you have difficulty to sleep, of course it is very, very much disturbing your immune system. And of course, we want our immune system to be good for the sake of everything, and particularly the coronavirus. Now, if you do have difficulties with sleep, or somebody that is close to you has difficulties with sleep, it is unfortunately a major part of the drama of your life. And it will be my pleasure to help you to remedy that. Now, to do that, I should first begin with very simple points of which you have already heard, but you may not be practicing. They're well known and they're true. And then I will get into points which are a little bit more particular to the yogic and naturopathic science. So the points which are very common, that I won't spend almost any time talking about, they are the great importance of exercise, daily exercise, that you really do good cardiovascular exercise so that you don't have so much pent-up energy inside of yourself, as well as it gets your blood circulation moving. It has so many benefits I won't get into now. But this is related to the problems of sleep. Second, it is well known that if you take a good hot steaming bath or a good hot steaming shower, then it relaxes the muscles, relaxes the nerves, and in particular it opens the pores of the skin so that much of the heat inside of the body can go out, and then the body can cool down much better, which is an important part of falling asleep. Another very well-known one is to drink hot milk just before the time that you want to go to sleep. Warm milk, very warm milk, maybe has some turmeric in it, yellow powder. It will relax your nerves very nicely, the calcium, the tryptophan, the magnesium. And if you're not into drinking cow's milk, you can do it using any kind of non-dairy milk. Simple, clear, put a little sweetener in it if you want, no harm. And of course, if you are sleeping in the daytime, it's going to disturb your sleep in the night. The more regular that our schedule can become, the more easy it will be to fall asleep at the right time. And then there's the point that everybody knows about caffeine and about nicotine, how harmful these are to your nerve system. Whether you're able to diminish the use of those as much as you can, maybe restrict them so that they're not so much in the afternoon and the evening, especially the caffeine, then that will be better for you. These are all obvious points. Now I go to points which are not quite as obvious. And here comes another very simple point, but you may not know, and that is that during the nighttime, let's not look at any clock. When you wake up, if you look at a clock, it'll just psych you out. That's also a clock. Yeah, that one. So avoid looking at the time in the night. Just, you have plenty of time to go back to sleep. Another thing, which is reasonably known, but so important for probably most of you, and that is in the nighttime, and I'm going to disturb you right now by what I'm saying, you should not be looking at the computer or your cell phone, which you might be doing right now, because it makes your mind even more active, and the blue light also is disturbing to the melatonin in you. So perhaps if you want to see the rest of this video and it's nighttime, maybe now you should stop and watch the rest of this tomorrow morning. Good night and sleep well. Okay, I'll go on. You've come back. It's morning time. Then the next point is that, I did talk about this in the previous video, but I really want to emphasize it for insomnia, that after dinner, we should take a walk. So your digestion gets properly activated and as far as possible completed before you try to go to sleep. Now in the same vein, which I didn't mention in the sleep video, and that is, as far as possible, the evening meal should be very light and easily digestible. The best would be, for example, a light vegetable soup without cooked oil in it. It can have spices, good, nice taste, but easy to digest. This is so that if digestion is going on while you're sleeping, it is producing gases, and that will be disturbing your mind. Next, I want to talk about, see, point after point, but you pick and choose from these points which one is going to work for you. You can try one of them, two of them, all of them. So the next point I will tell is that the morning light at 6 in the morning, very soon after the sun rises, is very, very good for our health. And if we see that morning light, if we expose ourselves to it, then we get a sense of the radical contrast with the blackness, with the dark light of the night. And that makes us more easily fall into our circadian rhythm so that we can more easily stay awake in the day and sleep in the night. So if you make sure that you are exposed to the morning light, even if you're tired, and then you remain awake, it will be easier for you to fall asleep in the night. Not in all cases, but in most cases. Another factor directly related to this early morning light is that if you go on sleeping until 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, you will have passed the time when your intestinal system naturally wants to excrete its first bowel movement. Now, if you miss the first bowel movement, then automatically the body will contract and get into the habit of holding that bowel movement in. It will encourage your body into a state which moves toward constipation, which is the number one enemy of all kinds of psychological problems. Yes, psychological problems directly related to the intestinal health. And I've seen this. I will maybe give a different video on that very subject. There will be a link, there is a link below this video that you can click, which will take you to something which is called Yoga Nidra. It is in our Facebook page, Facebook group. Yoga Nidra. Nidra means sleep. So it consists of 2 parts. And you can listen to this Yoga Nidra just before you go to sleep in the night to help you to go to sleep, or if you wake up during the night to help you to go back to sleep. Either way, both ways. Use it as much as you'd like to. It can only help you. It has 2 parts. The first part is a guided deep relaxation, and the second part is a guided meditation. Now, that guided meditation, that deep relaxation, it will help you part by part of your body to relax. And the guided meditation is a beautiful, relaxing one, which ends with the use of mantra. Now, here I want to say that personally, whenever I've had any very great problems in my life, which disturb me in the night, I wake up during the night, normally just go back to sleep right away. I'll go to urinate, maybe sleep right away after that. But if I have any great problem, it will be running in my mind. And when it is running in my mind, of course, every night I should be thinking mantra throughout the whole night. At least that's my discipline and the discipline of so many yogis. But in the case of people who wake up with complicated and challenging thinking, it is better to use mantra with your breathing, occupy your mind with that, instead of allowing your mind to become occupied with very disturbing thought. It's an extremely fundamental thing of overcoming insomnia, and this point in itself alone is of the greatest of importance, in my opinion, in my experience. And what it comes to, it means that one does not make any effort to sleep. The effort is on the ideating on the meaning of the mantra and keeping it going and getting into the flow with it. And then and I'm thinking, even if I don't fall asleep, I don't mind, because I'm in a spiritual state and I feel much, much more rested even if I stayed awake for 1 or 2 hours thinking the mantra. It has a beautiful effect, at least as good as sleep, when you get into the habit of it. We'll also have a link below which will connect you with what is called progressive relaxation, in which you will tense each part of your body, one leg at a time, and then through the rest of your body, part by part, for at least 2 seconds, and then relax. 2 seconds, contract, and then relax. This is another technique that you can use, and very effective. It's linked below. And last, I'm going to explain about ice-cold spinal bath. And this is extremely effective for releasing all the stress from the spine, because it's in the spine that the stress is very much stored, and I'm going to talk about it right now. So this is Yogamai of Moscow, and this is Sheila of Davao here in Maharlika. And we're going to do the spinal bath. He is very stressed. He can't sleep properly. And this towel right here is full of ice water. The first thing that will be done is that Sheila, if you can turn in this direction, Sheila is going to give him a warm friction on the spine, vigorous warm movement to heat up the spine. And now Sheila will pour some ice water on the towel to make it really cold, and Yogamaya will lie down so that his spine is perfectly suiting that very icy cold towel. And he'll be covered with a blanket so that he can really rest very nicely. All the stress from his spine is going out right now, and he's in a deep state of rest, and in this way 10 minutes goes by. And then he sits up, and again the dry friction is done vigorously. He could also do it to himself if he has nobody to help him with that towel. And then ice cold water is put on the towel, and again he'll lie down. And in this way, this can be repeated, example, 3 times, starting with dry friction, ice cold on the spine, then again dry friction, then again on the spine, then again dry friction, then again on the spine. And if during any of these times he, or it may be you, falls asleep while being on the ice cold towel, you should not be woken up, because that is a dreamless and deep state. So this is called spinal bath.
Ставьте ваши лайки, делайте комментарии, подписывайтесь и делитесь этим видео.
Okay, namaskar.